Hello YouTube. Here is our iMac 21.5 inch with the 2.7 GHz Core i5. And we decided to make a video on this. We got it about a week ago, by the way. Actually, no, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. We're just going to talk about it, do a basic overview, talk about the design, why we bought it, all that stuff, how good it is, and our generalized thoughts on it. So first off, it cost $1,500 off of Apple.com. We bought it on Black Friday.
That's a total, right? Including tax and stuff? And shipping?
It was $101 off, so it was $1,398 approximately. And the tax was a little bit more, so the total cost ended up at $1,487. I don't know, something like that. So here are the specs here. So it has a 21.5 inch screen, is 1920 by 1080, so the resolution is very good, although if it were anything lower than that I would be disappointed. It's what I would actually expect for a 21.5 inch screen. That's one of the things I like about Macs. They're always very high resolution, so you never get any of that low res crap. 4 gigabytes of DDR3 1333 MHz RAM, but a matter of minutes ago we just upgraded to 8 gigabytes with RAM we bought for approximately $20 off of eBay.
$21 free shipping, and if you look on the Apple's upgrades and stuff, it costs $200 for them to pre-install an extra 4 gigs of RAM. So, and for us it costs $21.
Yeah, so 21 versus 200. 21 was a better deal, of course. 1 terabyte hard drive, and an AMD Radeon HD 6770M with 512 megabytes of video RAM. It is a laptop video card, by the way. A lot of this computer's parts are laptop parts. The RAM is actually right under here, and it's a laptop RAM. So
it's the size of laptop RAM, I mean. It's like shorter stuff.
So the general design is very nice. When the screen's not on, it looks a lot bigger than normal because this black band around it, it kind of has this bigger screen effect. And the entire thing is basically metal.
Of course, it's entirely metal.
Yeah.
No, it's all plastic.
Also wood. Okay. On the side here, you got the DVD drive, and
which is a internal drive, so it doesn't eject a tray. It actually it comes right in and ejects it right out, so it's pretty cool.
And this is an SDHC card slot. Actually, not just SDHC. I think it can take all types of SD cards.
Camera
which is
card.
Extremely useful because when we take videos, like with this camera right here, we just pop the card in there and just picks it up right away. Although this camera records in a weird format that only iMovie recognizes. So in the back here, we've got our ports. And the one thing that I would like differently about this computer was that the ports are only in the back. There's plenty of USBs though, so I'm not going to complain about that. But there should have been some USBs on the side here for easier access. But this computer is pretty small and durable, so you can just kind of flip it around, and it's really not any trouble getting to the USB ports. So it's got 4 USB ports, audio input and output, of course. Firewire 800, I believe it is. Something different, and Ethernet. And if you just look around in the back here, this is what the back looks like. The power cord plugs in here, of course, and there's this little, I don't know what that is. Is that the speaker? I don't know what it is. I know, it's just silly. And all the hot air gets ejected at the top here, and the computer does actually get quite warm across the top right up here. In the stand, I like the stand. It moves up and down very effortlessly. It doesn't do any of that stuff that old laptops do. Yeah, where it kind of either sits here or here, or different levels. It doesn't really flop around or anything. It's very smooth. On the bottom, you've got some holes here. Looks like it's for air intake. And right here is actually where all the RAM is located. 3 screws. Right in there is all the RAM. And on the other side of the computer, I'm not even going to show it to you, there's really nothing, of course nothing on the top.
Other than the fan stuff.
So, moving on. The mouse and keyboard, of course, are wireless. And the keyboard's awful small. It doesn't have any, what do you call it?
Numpad,
yeah. Numpad. You get your power button right inside here. And the keys are very small. I had extreme trouble typing with this the first time I used it. But then I got used to it, and it's extremely easy to use. And the design's very small, and it's very practicalized. So you got your brightness controls right here. Turns your brightness up and down. You've got this button that shows all the windows you have open. This button that shows... Ooh, never done this before. Look at that. Isn't that neato? Isn't that neato? You got all your different applications right here. F5 and F6 don't do anything. F7, F8, and F9 are the music control keys. I can change my volume right from here and even eject the CD out of the side of the computer, which is really cool. Just tap a button on your keyboard and it ejects the CD. And the mouse is very nice. Actually, it's a very simplified design. There's really no extensive curvature to it, but despite that, it actually does feel like a pretty good mouse to use. And as you might have noticed, there's no distinct scroll wheel or right or left buttons, but this mouse actually does have a different
trackpad,
left and right click, and it does have a mouse. I mean, it does have a kind of scroll wheel. You can basically move your finger across any surface of the mouse, whether it's down here or up here, and it will scroll, which is really cool because it's much more practicalized. And on the bottom you got your batteries in here. I think it takes AAA batteries, and I'm kind of running low, I think, because I never turn it off, AA batteries, actually, because it's kind of annoying because whenever I turn it off, when I turn it back on, it takes forever for the stupid computer to recognize that it's actually turned on. I have to turn it off and on about 5 times over before the computer actually recognizes it. If you're wondering why we bought it, well, first off, if you look around here, if you were to look around here, that is, I really don't have any space on this desk for a tower or anywhere beside it or anything. My room's awful cramped, so this computer fits perfectly right in this area of my desk. So it's very practical and nice.
So we got Final Cut Express for it. We actually already had this. This was installed on my MacBook for a long time. So I stuck it on there and it worked. Except there was a program I downloaded called Soundflower because QuickTime has a little feature here where it can record the screen. You can't record the actual output of the computer. You can only record line in, or you can only record through the integrated microphones. So that would sound like crap. So I downloaded a program called Soundflower, and it didn't work, so I uninstalled it. But I noticed after I installed the program, Final Cut stopped working, and I've done everything in my power to get Soundflower completely uninstalled, and it simply is still screwing up Final Cut Express 4. I might be wrong about it being Soundflower. It might be a different thing that's causing Final Cut to not work, but as far as I can tell, the sound codec from Soundflower, yeah, it did mess up the Final Cut Express installation. So I've deleted every single Final Cut Express file. I even got a program to delete everything. I've done everything we can to uninstall Soundflower, and it still doesn't work. So I think it might just like back up our entire computer onto our 1 terabyte external hard drive right there, and reinstall the OS.
So it's got a lot of cool features, and I actually love Mac OS X as an operating system. It's very, I'm overusing the word practical, but I'm going to use it again. It's very practical, and it's cool. It's interesting because you've got all these different desktops similar to Mac OS 10.5 that we have on our MacBooks, except they're all in line instead, and it's actually an incredibly good idea because you can switch your windows between different desktops. You never have to worry about having, 10 windows all piled up on top of each other or anything. You can just easily scroll between them.
Something I noticed that Windows 8, which is coming out, I don't know when.
Stupid iPhone! Shut up!
Something I noticed that Windows 8, which is coming out whenever soon, but they advertise the same feature that he just explained the same desktop switching feature, and like, I'm not gonna say they full-blown copied it from Mac, but it seems like they sure adopted the idea of having more than one desktop switchable and stuff. So not really sure, but yeah. So next thing we're going to talk about is the
fact that we're going to install Windows 7 on it. We are going to be getting Windows 7 soon, and unfortunately it costs a ridiculous amount of money. It's $170 for 64-bit Windows 7 Home Premium. Home Premium is the most basic version of Windows 7. It's 64-bit, not 32 though. And it's $170 roughly, which is absolutely crazy, but that's my
That was less, but we're getting that because we have Adobe Photoshop, or not Photoshop, Adobe Master Collection, CS5. I think it's a Master Collection. It's got a lot of stuff in it, basically. And it's actually for PC.
Windows, I mean.
Windows, that's what I meant. So we're going to have to install Windows on this thing sooner or later, and so we can put that on there.
And I'm probably going to partition the hard drive into a 250 gigabyte partition and 750 gigabyte partition, because our iPhoto library is currently 150 gigabytes with about 6,500 photos and videos. We have about 1,300 songs roughly, hours of video of course, that's implemented into iPhoto though, and stuff.
So with the video editing software, I said that Final Cut Express 4 doesn't work, but we do have iMovie 2011 or whatever it's called.
iMovie 11.
Right. It is useful. It's what we're using right now since FCE4 doesn't work.
It's actually a very good editing program, although it doesn't export in perfect quality, but it is very useful and easy to use, and it does well enough. It can export in 720p without too much quality loss.
It does cool intros and stuff, presets, but it doesn't do much of special effects. It does have like a stabilizing program, for example, but it doesn't really work very well. So Final Cut Express 4 has the special effects and all that stuff, and you might be trying to do videos for different channel, completely different type of videos, but I'm not really sure if that's going to go anywhere. So, but we will need Final Cut Express 4 for that.
Okay, so I'm thinking that that's pretty much it for this video. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but that's all I can think of right now. So
overall, I think it was the purchase of this computer was worth it. It's a good, powerful computer.
It's not cheap, but the design and the helpfulness of this computer really makes up for the expensive nature.
Yeah, I just want to touch on a few things about Mac haters and stuff. Like they hate Macs, but they've never really used one before. Most of them.
I used to dislike Macs until I got a MacBook. Then I realized it's not that much of a retarded piece of useless, overpriced crap.
And usually, like, people will look at the specs and look at the price and think, wow, it's overpriced for the specs, but the specs aren't really what matters. It's the integration between the software and hardware that makes Macs, like, really much better quality.
And the good design overall in the operating system.
So, like, with the PC, you got, like, all these wires everywhere and chunky desktops and stuff, but this thing, it's really thin and compact, and I like it. But I'm not going to say that I don't like PCs. I do have my own gaming computer we built, and we're getting another one soon, hopefully. That's going to be pretty cool. I can tell you it is going to be more powerful than this thing for the same price. But that's essentially it. So we're going to be trying to pump out some more videos. The problem is our internet is still not any better. So we can't upload a video every day because it takes about 10 hours to upload a video, and half the time those video uploads fail. So we are just about stuck with our video production rate at the current moment, but who knows, maybe it'll get better. Internet, I don't know.